to Drunk Opera Review. I'm Miss Fern, this is still Whiskey, and tonight we're going to take a look at the opera Ofreo ad Euridice. So this opera is basically based off of the Greek myth of Orpheus. So if you're familiar with the Greek mythology, you kind of know where this is going. If you're not familiar with Greek mythology, buckle up. Alright, it's a good ride. Okay, so for this one, we don't have many main characters, and we've got stick figures. Okay, so we've got Ofreo. This is basically Orpheus. He is married to Euridice, so we've got a little heart there. And then we've got Cupid. So really basic main characters, not a lot going on. That's kind of nice. Okay, so the opera starts out with Euridice being dead. She was bitten by a snake, she died young, beautiful, unexpectedly, and Ofreo, her husband, is just absolutely heartbroken. So the first act of the opera, Ofreo and some nymphs and, kind of other people who knew her are, basically hanging out together and they're mourning her. So they're kind of like having a little wake. And Ofreo is just absolutely devastated and just keeps calling out Euridice, and finally tells his friends, like, you need to go. Like, I need to be alone because your grief is just adding to my anguish. Like, please leave. So they kind of say like one last goodbye to, Euridice's ashes, because she did, and they leave. And Ofreo's left alone with his grief and is just absolutely devastated. Alright, who shows up but Cupid? And Cupid's like, hey, so the gods feel really bad for you, so they're going to give you one chance to get your wife back. Just one. And he's like, okay, what do I have to do? And she's like, yeah, you need to go to the underworld, aka realm of Hades, aka hell, and retrieve her and bring her back to the living world. But there's a catch. And the catch is, when you're bringing her back, you cannot look at her. And if she asks why you won't look at her, you cannot tell her why. And Orfeo is like, no problem, like, let's go where I need to go. And she's like, all right, go to hell. And he's like, cool. Yeah, for once it's a good thing. So he goes to the gates of hell. How he found the gates of hell, I don't know. Maybe there's a yellow brick road or some signage. I don't really know. But he gets there and he needs to pass the Furies, who are about as pleasant as they sound. So he has to sing to them and play for them and basically sing of his sorrow and his woe in order to placate them so they will let him pass. So he does that, the Furies calm their rage, and they say, okay, we'll let you by. So he gets past them and descends further into hell. And he makes it to the Elysian Fields. And if you're familiar with Greek mythology, you know what that is. If not, no biggie. Basically, it's kind of like paradise. So it's like where your warriors go. It's this beautiful place, the Elysian Fields. So he makes it here. And he's like, oh, this is nice and all, but I'm here for my wife. And they're like, okay, cool. We'll bring her to you. So he immediately is like, okay, can't look. So he kind of like turns away. And they bring his wife to him. Cheers. So he kind of like reaches behind him and like grabs her hand and is like, let's go. So he's leading her out of hell. And she starts like bitching, like, why won't you give me a hug? And why won't you give me a kiss? And like, what the hell? And he's like, bitch, we are in the underworld right now. We are in hell. It is not safe here. We need to go. And still, she's just like, but why won't you even look at me? And why won't you give me a hug and a kiss? And don't you love me anymore? And am I still beautiful? Really? How shallow is this chick? She's literally in hell and she's like, am I still pretty? Tell me I'm pretty. Really? was like, bitch, we gotta go, I'd be like, okay, we gotta go. We gotta go. I'm not gonna be like, but I'm not pretty. Tell me I'm pretty. So he's just trying to be like, we gotta go. Like, just come on. You know, like, I can't tell you what's going on right now. Let's get out of here. And she's like, you don't love me anymore. I'm gonna be condemned to a life with a husband who doesn't love me. Ah. And so he is just like, I love you, but I can't, like, now is not the time or the place. Like, come on. So she said, you don't love me anymore. So he finally, like, turns around and is like, I love you. As soon as he turns around and loves her, dead. She dies again. And he's just like, what have I done? Oh my God, what have I done? And he's just like, what do I do now? Where do I go? She's dead. And he knows he blew his one shot at saving her, and if he ever wants to see her again, he has to die. That's it. So he's basically at that point kind of like, do I just kill myself? You know, that's the only way I'm ever going to see my true love again. So in the pit of his despair, who shows up but Cupid? And it's like, hey, so the gods have taken pity on you, and we're actually going to bring Euridice back to life. So she shows up again and is like, wait, am I alive again? And he's like, yes, you're alive again. Holy crap, let's get out of here now, please. So he leads her out of hell. She's alive, he's alive, and they have this big celebration. Okay. So overall, I wasn't like a huge fan of this opera. There's not a lot going on plot-wise. It's really kind of straightforward. And again, if you know the myth of Orpheus, you pretty much know what's gonna happen, except for the end. That's a surprise happy ending. The one aria that Euridice does, like on the way out of hell, is stunning. I really did like that. But for the most part, I really wasn't really blown away by this opera, because there just wasn't a lot of going on plot-wise, and it's just like, it's for opera even, it's a little slow. It's like, he goes to hell, he comes out, that's pretty much it. But, if you have a chance to see it, then, might as well, but definitely not my favorite. Alright, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more, then hit subscribe. Apparently there's like a little bell you can like poke or something. Alright, I'm gonna finish this, and again, this is Drunk Opera Review. I'm Miss Fern, and I will see you at the opera.